the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So today on Dahm, That's True, we're going to take a little bit of time to outline some athletes that have stepped away from sports before to maybe address their mental health, as is very brave to do. Maybe talk about the stigmas surrounding mental health, especially in sports, and just maybe talk even a little bit about our mental health, because what are podcasts for if not venting instead of going to therapy? Welcome everybody in to Dahm, That's True. Let's get rolling. Welcome everybody back into another episode of Dahm. That's True. Of course, I'm your host with the most, Truman and Machine Steen. As always, I'm joined by the bomb,
Kaboom.
Owen Dahm. We're live here from beautiful Kansas City. What a great Memorial Day weekend we've had.
It has been gorgeous.
We want to take the time here on Dahm, That's True to, of course, say we appreciate all of our troops out there, and we especially shout outs. I don't know. Our praises, our condolences, our thanks to the troops that have given their lives and the families that had to go through that or also have to support those troops for the ultimate sacrifice. We do appreciate everything everybody has done for us to be as free over here to have Dahm, That's True every week, especially on Memorial Day weekend.
Absolutely.
So, just, not to lose sight of everything here. But welcome everybody back into another episode of Dahm, That's True. As we talked about earlier, we are going to talk Mental Health Awareness Month. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and as we cap off the end of May here, we sometimes tackle semi-serious topics on this show. I remember one time we tried to do the Tyreek Hill episode, and that was a disaster. Oh my God, we should not have talked about that.
Once again, that was after our Sud Buds. So.
That was after Sud Buds, and I just ranted about whether or not we should cheer for Tyreek Hill.
That was great.
That was a long...
You had like a 15-minute monologue.
I did. I heard nothing about that. Nobody was like, great episode. Nothing. I heard nothing. So, but today we're going to talk mental healthness. Fuck. Mental health awareness. I'm so sorry. This is not good words. One day, Dahm, That's True, we'll have like editing, and you guys won't have to hear me say that.
Absolutely. Yeah, one day.
One day.
One day when we're big and famous. Yeah.
Soon. I think year 3 for the podcast is the year it's going to take off.
Coming up here in...
Wait, no, we're on year 3? No, sorry, year 4 will be
coming up here in 15 weeks, actually. That's when we're going to hit it big.
Yeah, actually in the next 15 weeks. By the time the end of season 3 here rolls around, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, 99% of podcasters stop podcasting before they hit it big. So
that's true. We just need to post more on TikTok, I think is the answer.
TikTok, yeah.
That's what I've heard. So welcome everybody in. Hey, real quick, big shout out to our Patreon members over at patreon.com/opendisaster. Big shout out to Joe, Aaron, Skylar, Dylan, in Mailbox Kansas City. Hey guys, don't forget that Mailbox Kansas City is open up now in the Iron District. Actually went there, had their they have a vegan flavor out right now. It was oatmeal like chocolate chip cookie.
Did you actually have it?
Yeah, I actually did.
I
posted on Facebook. I was like, this sounds fire. And I went out and I had it, and it was fire. It was good.
Oatmeal raisin?
Yeah. It was like oatmeal cookie.
Oatmeal cookie, vegan ice cream?
Yeah. It was actually very good. I was shocked. I had that and a little bit of caramel and Oreos on top. Still
vegan.
vegan.
In a cone?
That's still vegan. No, I just got in a cup. There's no cones.
Oh.
You can either get in a cup
or a Melt Monster.
Or a Melt Monster, yes. There might be cones. I don't think there are cones, but...
I don't know. I haven't met...
I'm actually surprised they don't have cones. Owen slamming them like, nice. Again, things you guys would miss if we were
I have not been to the
this.
Iron District in a long time, so...
No. So, today we're talking mental health awareness. Let's start by outlining a couple examples. This is actually kind of inspired by kind of a Bleacher Report post that I had seen where they had outlined a couple times that people have talked about mental health awareness. And I think especially in sports, because we tend to forget that people are like humans.
Yeah.
Like people DM... Barstool Sports posted like a audio message of somebody messaging Jimmy Butler after the Game 6 loss, who had bet on Jimmy Butler or something, and like it was like a 1 or 2 minute long voice message that was sent to Jimmy Butler. I didn't listen to it because
was that the joke when it's like, Jimmy, please?
I don't know.
The Jimmy please one was funny, but
yes.
The ones where people are very serious, like telling players to perform better, that's cringe as fuck.
Right. For every joke one that you see like that that's actually funny and actually isn't a big deal, there are, I don't know, 30 1,000 that you don't see of DMs that go in there and are just
wasn't
saying
there Najee
vile
Harris
stuff.
calling out some kid from like Tennessee high school, like saying slurs at him and posted it all over his Instagram?
Somebody
stuff?
did, it could have been Buda Baker too. Buda Baker had the same kind of thing where they're like, dude, this person's saying the N-word right now. It was like, if somebody's calling me the N-word in my DMs for scoring a touchdown, like running back a touchdown on their favorite team or whatever, it was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So we want to take time to maybe highlight some of these athletes that have taken away. And let's start with maybe the world's biggest athlete, maybe one of the world's most influential athletes, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Actually, he took it away and he opened up that he was not also immune to these mental health struggles that he's seen.
Yeah.
He has bouts of anxiety and depression stemming back to his days playing college football for the University of Miami. He's a football standout in college, but just didn't work out in the NFL because of his injuries that sidelined him. So I think with that, he's had some anxiety and depression. And even, as successful as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has to be a billionaire by now, right?
Of course.
Or, he's one of the most successful brand people. For example, when he was doing Black Adam, did you know that for every Instagram post that he posted about Black Adam, he was still getting paid like $1 million per Instagram post about that, even though he was in the movie anyways. They still paid him because his Instagram account is so influential.
He does have a gigantic amount of social media following.
Yes, and so they
he's
still
one of the
pay
he's
him
one of
per
the
post.
he's one of the largest most popular athletes of all time.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Just of all time in general.
Probably top 10.
Actor, athlete, and WWE star.
Yeah.
And of course, to be in the WWE
stars famously not athletes.
or actors.
Yes, WWE star. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's just one of the most popular celebrities in the world. So
yeah, but he's opened up and talked about his bouts of depression and anxiety. He's so it's one of those things where even though these people are playing games, essentially games for the rest of their life as a living, it doesn't mean that it's all it is.
Right. Money
doesn't solve all your problems.
You're still a person at the end of the day.
Did you? Sorry, somebody was asking if we did anything for National Hamburger Day yesterday. I had a hamburger yesterday.
Damn, we should have.
Went to Culver's. Yeah.
You went to Culver's for a hamburger?
I did. I did go to Culver's for a hamburger.
That sounds like the wrong choice.
It's honestly kind of fire. Sorry, I need to change my category is what that made me realize. But we are so that was an example of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Another person I wanted to, this was actually a pretty public one. Kevin Love for the NBA. He came out. He was talking about
plays for the Heat right now.
Yeah, I was actually shocked by that. I was like, what the fuck? Yes.
It just shows you how much we followed the NBA.
It's true. But he came out and talked about his depression. He actually missed time. He took mental health time off. That was a huge deal. People were like, what is he doing? He said he's been suffering in silence for most of his life, relying on basketball to manage what he calls a lifelong battle with social anxiety. After he suffered a panic attack during a game against the Atlanta Hawks, Love left the game facing questions and criticism from teammates who didn't know he suffered from depression. Love began to speak out. Love became the NBA's face of mental health when he published a first-person essay for the Players Tribune, followed by a compelling interview with ESPN's Jackie McMullen, pulling the veil off depression and anxiety in pro sports. So he talks about speaking your truth. He credits speaking out and helping others with bringing them peace. I think that I remember when that happened. Do you remember when that happened? When he came out of that game and people were like, "Why did Kevin Love just quit on his team?" And that was because you don't want to talk about it, and that's also one of those things that people don't talk about is that anxiety can be quickly followed by depression, also, and vice versa. Depression and anxiety kind of go hand in hand. It's not always people generally are fighting one. If they're fighting one mental battle, they're probably fighting a lot of mental battles.
Like The Rock said in that previous article, depression doesn't care who you are.
That's true.
So, I mean, just knowing how to handle these things and being more aware of anxiety and depression in society is just something that is important for these people who have a very public face to do.
Right.
So it's very difficult for someone as high profile as some. Where
I wasn't bringing in
it's a game where people base their mood off of their whole day, off of the result of your game.
Oh, absolutely.
And all these NBA players know that, and yes, they're getting paid millions of dollars, but they also know that there's tens of millions of people who care about the result of their game.
Right.
And that's an immense amount of pressure.
And they care that you care. That is one of the things that makes sports so special, is that people care so much about it, and that, if the Chiefs lose, our Sunday's ruined. I'm not watching any TV. I'm not watching sports. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to reset. I'm going to unplug.
Right.
I've had it before.
And really, at the end of the day, it's a bunch of people that I don't know, that don't know me, lost a game.
Right.
But we have such a strong emotional connection that, you remember back in 2018 when we lost that Raiders game in the last throw of the game? I was beside myself.
Oh, my God. When they had the, 8 times to
yes,
try it.
I was beside myself.
Yes. Well, this is a joke. Again, we sometimes, our generation is known to joke about wanting to die and stuff like that. This is not a call for help. But I remember we would sing a parody of the Earth, Wind, and Fire song, September. Whereas I, and we'd say, wanna fucking die. After that game ended.
That sucked.
It was terrible, man. Oh my gosh.
And then, of course, we went to the AFC Championship game.
Yes.
And lost. But we don't talk about that. It's fine.
Well, that was actually, okay, so I think the game that we lost to the Raiders in the last throw, because of the penalties, was 2016. Because we were still early in college.
Oh, bro, we were in
we were
our
in
house.
We were in the honors house when that happened.
No, we were not.
No,
I
do.
promise
No.
you.
I promise you. I promise you.
You're tripping.
I'm not gonna make you Google this because this is not important for the episode. But I want you to know that you're wrong. You can Google it.
I will.
All right. Listen, we can't. Listen, we're still gonna remain true to who we are, even if we are doing a fairly serious episode today. But and I think that's the thing, is that sports decide so many people's moods, and when they shouldn't. It's not, at the end of the day, it is a game, but we feel bad enough to get offline. Imagine if you were the reason that happened and millions of people's moods were changed for the day, and you just can't really avoid it because it's your life. Everybody knows your name. I couldn't imagine if I fucked something up and I would get 10,000 messages that said you ruined my day. I remember, so we were in the K-State band when the K-State band made a spaceship Enterprise that looked like a penis and then shoved it into a Jayhawk's mouth. And that made national news. And I remember getting messages from people that was people I knew. Luckily, no randos reached out to me, but people did engage with randos online that were like, this band should be they should be broken up. The band director should be fired. The students should be kicked off campus. All sorts of stuff. Crazy stuff got said. But I remember coming out of it and immediately checking my Facebook, and my English teacher from high school was like, Truman Steen, I blame you for this happening. As a joke, but still funny. I was like, what? And then that was the first I'd ever seen the article. But, for real, that happens to people every day of sports, where people are actually saying, I blame you, this is your fault, I hate you because of this. And, it's people overreacting, but believe it or not, people overreact on the internet kind of a lot.
What? No, Truman, surely not.
Man, I don't know. And we fail to connect. Did you find it? Did you find the answer?
It's actually taking me way too damn long.
Go Chiefs.
I'm going 2018. Don't worry.
Oh, don't. I'll go Chiefs. I'll go Chiefs at Raiders 2016, and then I'll find it.
Okay, well, it's not 2018 because we swept them in 2018.
Okay, it wasn't 2016 because we played them 3 times, even in the playoffs, which is actually kind of crazy.
We played the Raiders in the playoffs in 2016?
It must have been 2015.
I think it's 2017.
It was 2017. Are we both wrong?
Maybe it was 2019.
Now that'd be very funny. It is 2017. Fuck me. The Thursday night game. Yep. This is definitely it.
Is that it for sure?
I'm pretty sure this is the one. It said Las Vegas, which was not right, but I'm almost positive of it, at the end here.
Was 2017?
Yes, it is 2017. The one.
What date was it in 2017?
Hold on. Let me. I believe it's October. Yes, October 19th.
Would we have been in the house?
Yes, we would have. Would have been our first year in the house.
We lost the Raiders.
Yes. Yes, on the last play because they had like 3 penalties or 4 penalties on like both teams a couple times. It was terrible. Promise.
I'm looking at it. 30-31. Holy shit, that's terrible.
Yes. And if you look at the game highlights,
yes,
on YouTube,
Michael Crabtree 2-yard pass.
Yep. Yeah. After like 8 attempts, they had like 8 attempts at it. But okay, focus in. Stop reading about it. Focus back in. We were in the house.
Yeah, it must have been.
You got it.
Yes, right.
But neither of us had the year right. We were both on either side of it.
I knew we were in the house, bitch.
All right, fair enough. But I knew we were still talking to somebody, so I knew it wasn't 2018.
Whatever.
We were talking to somebody that we weren't talking to anymore in 2018. I remember singing it in that person's car.
Oh.
And it wasn't Patrick Mahomes, and we didn't go to the AFC Championship game that year. So you are also wrong. I just want you to know.
Patrick Mahomes was on the team.
We were both wrong.
He was on the team.
Not.
He was just sitting.
Yeah, okay. He was sitting. Shut up. Okay. Getting back to it. So Kevin Love was a great example.
I remember because that was the GOAT killer year. Because that was when the first game of the year, Alex Smith beat the crap out of the Patriots. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
I think a more recent version that I think young people can take, I guess,
Solace?
Relate to. We can relate to. Naomi Osaka, tennis star on the rise.
Yep.
Was shocked everybody when she took a break in 2021 after the French Open, citing social anxiety and a need to protect herself from relentless negative questions from journalists prior to each match. Osaka was then fined and criticized by the organizers of the French Open. Her desire to protect her mental health during competition treated as a threat rather than what it was, an act of self-care. Vincent sent me a tweet. But, so...
Oh, of course.
Yes. Thank you, Vincent. But, sorry. Vincent's sending his tweets. So she essentially stepped away to assess her mental health. And I remember, again, people being like, well, she's just immature. Or she's,
because he was a young, upcoming player.
Yeah, I think she's still, I want to say she's younger than us, is she not?
I believe she is definitely younger than us.
Oh, yeah. She is 100% younger than we are. Yeah, so she is 25. So she's younger than,
she is slightly younger.
She's slightly younger than us. We're born the same year, 97.
Yep.
So when she took that break in 21, she would have been 2021. 23. She would have been 23. Yeah. And people
still very young for an
people
athlete.
were like going off on her.
Yeah, still very young for an athlete, especially in a sport where a lot of the major stars are 30s.
Well, imagine now you can bet on college sports. That is one of the things that, as a bettor, I think I support betting. I love betting. I love that we can bet on it. It's, we're not affecting outcomes, whatever. But one of the things is certainly legalizing sports betting, the more and more it happens is the more and more people are going to be very serious about the criticisms that they send football players or any sports athletes.
Yeah.
It is a net loss for sure for athletes' mental health. And that sucks. That's really, listen, we say on Dahm, that's true all the time. Stop DMing players unless it's something positive. Please stop. There's really no reason. You're not going to... The only thing you can do is change somebody's day for the worse if you're DMing them criticisms.
Absolutely, yeah.
Unless you're, an all-time film coach and you're giving somebody pointers on their upcoming game, the best thing that can happen there is that they probably don't look at it. But if you're giving legitimate advice, maybe. But the, hey, man, you lost me $5,000 because you dropped your pass. Stop that. That's weird.
Yeah, well, you want someone to DM you after, you mess up at your job and send an email to the wrong person? You want somebody to email you about that, calling you an idiot?
I couldn't imagine if, a room was cold in a building that I designed and people were like, hey, I hope you die, in your inbox.
That would be, yeah.
Have
hundreds of those a day?
Yes. Right. Every time it makes somebody cold because you messed up one thing, and then
it's weird.
You got 100.
People just
then the one time that you design it perfectly, you'll never hear anything.
Yeah, people just have no shame nowadays, man.
Right.
It has some shame. These people are human beings, even if they are millionaires.
Right. I mean, I've tried to send players every now and again, like once or twice, maybe. I've sent a player like an uplifting message, maybe, where I'm like, maybe they're getting a lot of criticism. It's like, keep your head up, King. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, whatever.
I maybe said that once or twice.
Sure.
But
they see all that stuff.
I don't know, man. It's just
everything a player sends, you send to a player, you'll eventually see.
Yeah.
They'll eventually see. So.
Yeah. DeMar DeRozan has talked out about having depression. Paul Pierce has talked about having depression, anxiety. Ronda Rousey has learned.
Yeah, that's a pretty famous one.
Yeah, she very struggled after losing. What was that? Holly
Holm.
Holly Holm. Yes, right. Yeah. Because she hadn't lost in years, and I remember that.
Yeah, she was a champion
her.
Forever.
Right.
And then after losing to Holly Holm on a very close fight, a very entertaining fight. I encourage everyone to go watch that fight. It was a very good fight.
It was insane. I remember because Ronda Rousey felt unbeatable.
Yeah, she was a monster.
Yeah.
And then she lost to Holly Holm and lost like 2 in a row after that. Mm-hmm. But now she's very successful in WWE. But I mean,
sometimes she's kind of a part-time player.
Still,
she's like Brock Lesnar. They kind of show up for SummerSlam and WrestleMania.
F5. But still, I mean, for these athletes, being on top of the world is literally everything to them. You train your whole life for this, and then if you you lose a single time, it's like, holy cow, the world is ending, because it kind of is for them. And once again, I think people just need to recognize that these people are human beings. But also Dak Prescott, Kevin Love, like we said.
Dak Prescott actually is a crazy example, because Dak Prescott, as we're looking at here, we have a little bit of an article that's kind of helping us lead this discussion,
sure,
as we kind of read things. Dak Prescott came out and talked about having his depression, or talking about his brother having depression, as he said, but he talked about the isolation due to quarantine. I think that's something that people didn't talk about a ton, was definitely COVID's effect on mental health.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What Dak Prescott said, it creates new emotions that I've never felt before, but obviously dealt with. He said, and I obviously got the help that I needed and was very open about it, but I think that's why I was fortunate enough to get over it, as not all of us are. Because he was talking about dealing with his depression. Skip Bayless. Now Skip. Skip Bayless then went on his show and said, Bayless said, I don't have sympathy for him going public with, I got depressed. I suffered depression early in COVID to the point that I couldn't even go work out, Bayless said. Look, he's the quarterback of America's team. You know, and I know that the sport that you play, it is a dog-eat-dog. It is no compassion.
Okay, well,
that is a no compassion statement by Skip Bayless. That is an insane thing to say to Dak Prescott.
I don't think that's I don't know.
That is an insane thing to say.
Skip's whole job is to say insane stuff like that. So I'm not shocked.
His whole job is to say insane things about sports. His insane thing is not to say, I do not care about this player's mental health struggles, as he came out and said, I struggle very much with mental health, and I'm happy that I got over it, but not everybody does. And Skip Bayless said, cry about it. You're the quarterback of America's team. Keep going, Dak Prescott. That is an insane thing.
And he got rightfully slammed for that.
Yes, but athletes suffer this kind of shit every day. And especially now that there's Twitter, or people can get verified and get to the top of your tweets, and somehow all the verified people have the worst takes you've ever seen, almost always.
That's true. They always do. I haven't seen really a good take out of a verified person.
No. And I don't know, man. It's just so much of this stuff is just insane to me.
Yeah, and according to that tweet that right there that we're looking at, apparently he said that on a World Suicide Prevention Day.
Yeah. And Dak, and these players stepping out and talking about their depression, talking about their anxiety, helps so many people. They are
public figures.
As we talked about, the biggest celebrity. Everybody has access to them. Everybody sees what these people are saying. There's millions of people that are following Dak Prescott. And he came out to talk about being depressed during COVID, which is something that everybody struggled with. I got a little depressed during COVID. You get a little depressed during COVID?
Perhaps.
During that self-isolation? I was out.
Dak Prescott, 1.5 million followers.
Yes. I was out in the middle of New Mexico. Nobody's out there. That was fucking a little depressing. Thank God for my roommate. Thank God for my cat. Shout out Snowball the cat over there on the couch. Just soaks up depression and anxiety. That's not... Vincent, put your hand down. You're not Snowball.
I also soak up depression and anxiety.
Yes. You soak up Owen's depression and anxiety.
Sure.
Yes. But, everybody has their, But
by league opponents.
But a lot of God, they soak up and then deal it back to you twofold.
Absolutely.
But people, I just,
people need to take mental health more seriously.
Absolutely. And athletes starting this conversation is a huge part of it. The VHS said, I think it is a byproduct of celebrity culture in the U.S. It takes immense strength to say you are suffering from a mental health issue, but people want to believe the fantasy that these athletes have everything and are not justified in suffering from depression. That is absolutely true. Because we think that, it's the perfect thing, If I could be if Skip Bayless said, Dak Prescott's the quarterback of America's team. Why is he depressed? Why would that affect you being depressed? Right. People get depressed at every stage, no matter what happens.
Yeah, no matter, at the end of the day, it's still brain chemistry.
Yes.
Stressors and anxieties happen to people no matter how rich you are. And yes, people with more money have more access to, to greater support systems, but that doesn't mean you can't get depressed. And that's something that a lot of people don't pretend to not understand.
Right.
Is that, there's still very serious stressors facing these people, and people can get depressed. I mean, how many times have we seen, NFL players or ex-athletes commit suicide? It happens all the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially as the NFL starts to grapples more and more with CTE.
Yeah.
And, the effects that football can have on the brain after you're done playing, that accelerates a lot of times depression and anxiety. The Rock played football in an era where he played college football and some pro football in an era where there was even less rules about what you could do with your head. Yeah. And to say that might not have an effect, it makes athletes even more susceptible, especially NFL athletes, even more susceptible to these issues with brain chemistry and concussions and depression and anxiety and all these things.
It's a very real thing, yeah.
Yes. And, people still laugh it off, or people still say, well, they haven't made.
Well, they drive a Maserati, so.
Right. So they couldn't be sad. Can't cry in a Rolls Royce. So.
You can.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. It's part of the stigma.
Also say, if you're struggling from this kind of mental health thing, just know that other people and people that you might view as, quote, more successful than you also struggle with these things. Is that everyone struggles from mental health issues.
Listen,
whether or not they deal with them well or not.
And we're not too worried about being parasocial here. So if you guys if you listen to this show, the odds are you probably know us personally.
Probably.
And even if you don't know us personally, if you listen to this show, we certainly appreciate you enough that you have two allies right here. You want to talk about mental health struggles.
Absolutely.
Again, I've struggled with anxiety for about 4 years almost. I started about in 2019. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it got real bad in 2019, 2020, kind of flared up. It's kind of gone down. It kind of goes away. I've found my ways through it. I think about things, but luckily I've been able to avoid a lot of the depression that comes with that.
Yeah.
But not to say that I'm not susceptible to bouts of depression here or there. I think everybody's susceptible to bouts. I think everybody's going to struggle with depression at one point in your life.
Absolutely.
I think struggles, tribulations, I think you can just feel stuck. You can get in a rut and you don't realize it. And that feels like depression.
Yeah.
I mean, it is depression. And not everybody's depression or anxiety looks the same, right?
Never.
And that's, I think, hard for people to also understand. So.
Sure. Yeah, just know that, professional athletes go through this too. I mean, there's all the stuff with Danny Duffy.
Danny Duffy is a great example.
And some people have, a poor system of supporting their own mental health. And Danny Duffy's with alcohol. And he's admitted to this, but that time in the
Taco Bell drive-thru,
in the Taco Bell drive-thru, where the man was so drunk that he basically passed out in his car.
Yeah. He
once again dealing with depression.
Danny Duffy, he talked out and would acknowledge his struggles with anxiety, depression, and a panic disorder. He's since become an advocate for better mental health in baseball and professional sports in general. I mean, that's. Danny Duffy even took a mental break. Zach Greinke is famous for being weird, but what led Zach Greinke to taking a mental break was social anxiety and being, not everybody is meant to be social. Not everybody is meant to be in front of a camera, and you shouldn't feel bad for not wanting to do things.
Just because you want to play a game doesn't mean that everything you do need to be
right. And even your mental, and even for normal people, not that athletes are normal people. Let's be clear, but even for people that are
your average everyday Joe, not celebrities,
there are times that you don't want to go do things for your mental health, and you need to take those self-care days, and that's
absolutely
or self-care time. And I
just
think
be more honest with yourself and with your family about what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't suffer from any of these things, then great. But if you do, then talk to somebody about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I don't know. It's been a good episode, honestly. It's always going to be a shorter episode. We don't want to necessarily fluff up. We don't fluff up many episodes. Listen, every show that we do over here on Open Disaster Productions on YouTube is too long anyways. But, I don't want to weight this too much down. I don't think we're going to do top 5. We could do top 5, ways to
top 5 D-hop landing locations.
No, that feels disingenuous after a very serious episode. I was going to do top 5 ways to deal with mental health struggles.
Absolutely not. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, so I don't think talking D-hop at the end of this will be fun.
Top 5 W's I've had in Counter-Strike in the last 5 days.
Number 1, Chiefs. Number 2, anybody but the Chiefs. All right, fair enough.
Well, actually, I'm going number 1, Jags. Number 2, Patriots.
Jags makes no sense.
I know. That's why he would go there. Because clearly he doesn't care about getting a ring. He
says that he wants to get a ring, and he wants to play with a quarterback who loves the game.
If he doesn't go to the Bills or the Chiefs, he doesn't care about winning a ring.
He's going to one of those teams. He might also go to the Ravens, who can compete.
No, they can't.
They can compete.
The Ravens cannot compete.
Absolutely.
They need somebody who can
with
throw
D-hop?
They need somebody who can throw the ball.
Lamar Jackson, fucking stop. We're not having this conversation. We're not having this conversation about Lamar Jackson.
Why not?
He had the most passing touchdowns the year he won MVP.
I told you, I already bet the Ravens under their win total. They're not going to be successful.
If they get D-hop, they will go over that win total.
They will not.
Upon conditions of getting D-hop. No. Don't look at it.
I'm looking at my bet. Hold on. Give me a second.
Tweet it out after that, by the way. Make sure you tweet it out so we have it locked in. A $5 bet.
Find my FanDuel.
But, okay, sorry. What I wanted to say is that we wouldn't fluff that up with this episode up with those kind of things. I just wanted to talk, for once, we're being serious sports podcast.
For once. We've had a couple serious episodes.
Yes.
Oh, wait, I can't look at it because I'm in fucking Missouri.
You can still look at it. No, you can look at it.
Oh, FanDuel's very scary.
FanDuel, you can absolutely look at it. You just got to dismiss all those things. You can't bet anything, but you can look at your bets you've placed. But I think that's...
No, I'm not doing it. FanDuel it wants me to reset my password for a 28th time. It's not going to happen. So we'll look at it another time.
Fair enough. We can talk about that next week. We can talk about that next week.
FanDuel.
Fair enough. Owen, I appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate you for being here to talk serious mental health. I don't,
Sure.
Listen, Mental Health Awareness Month. It's never,
Is it
don't be
still
afraid
Mental Health Awareness Month?
It's May.
It's May?
It's May still. June is Pride Month. We'll talk about, at the end of Pride, maybe we'll talk about sports athletes who have come out as gay. Maybe that'll be
You're going to talk about Michael Sam?
Michael Sam, Carl Nassib, one who's actually playing.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. I think it was a basketball player. Pretty good.
I don't know. There's not a gigantic number.
No, that have come out. No. I'll tell you, there's probably plenty that are in the league. You just don't know about it.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. But, yeah,
Otis the cow.
Perhaps. So, listen. Mental health affects everybody's aspects of everybody's life.
If you struggle for mental health, please reach out to somebody.
Yes. Could be us.
Could be me and Truman. Could be your parents.
Could be another content creator that you enjoy. Vincent, no. But that's it. See, that's a joke if you listen to Grubbuds. That'd be funny.
Could be any of your friends.
Could be. Absolutely.
Could be a coworker, a roommate. Just talk to somebody. Don't suffer in silence. That's a silly thing.
I can tell you, as somebody who's, again, dealt with anxiety, it was like my sophomore year of high school. I was really struggling. And I struggled to talk to anybody about it. And eventually I broke down and I talked to my mom about how bad of a time I was having. And lo and behold, my mom also broke down and talked to me about how bad of a time she was having. Because it was a very stressful time for our family. There was a lot of things going on my sophomore year of high school. But we had a very nice conversation. And I felt like I wasn't alone. I bet she felt like she wasn't alone.
And then it got better.
Absolutely.
Shocking.
Shout out my
Tell
mom.
me you talked to somebody about your mental health and it got better.
Yes, and then my mom also, when I started to have my anxiety attacks and panic attacks in college, that like last couple weeks of senior year, when
That was a scary time, yeah.
that was a freaky time. I was freaking out, and my mom came down and like stayed for like a night or two in Manhattan, just to make sure I was okay. Didn't even like, she didn't want to crowd me, which is great.
Shout out Truman's mom.
Sometimes it just helps to have somebody there, just a safety blanket, just somebody to maybe hold your hand, somebody that you can, if you need to talk to somebody, you can go talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
And that's a huge W. Being that person for somebody, or asking somebody for help and having that somebody come for you, absolutely. So, listen, I think we've all been backboards before for people, and I think we've all used people as backboards at times.
Sure.
Me and Owen, probably each other.
Absolutely.
We talk mental health. We're bros like that. We're cool. Everybody should be bros like that. Stop the stigma. That's the point of Mental Health Awareness Month. We do appreciate everybody for being here. For Dahm, that's true.
Yeah, thank you all.
Big shout out patrons. I think we did it at the beginning, but just in case.
Dylan, Melbox, Skylar, Joe, Aaron.
Yes, all 5 of you. We appreciate you. I think that's it. Again, a pretty important episode of Dahm, that's true. Nothing light, but still pretty fun. We appreciate everybody for being here. We do appreciate everybody for supporting us.
Send us your D-Hop rumors. Send us your D-Hop guesses.
Who do you think listens to us that has D-Hop rumors?
I don't know, dude. Fucking send them. I don't give a shit. I don't care who's listening to us.
Any D-Hop rumors we'll take. Hey, Twitter.com/Steam Machine, TikTok.com/Steam Machine, Twitter.com/Owen Gosh Damn It, YouTube.com/Home Disaster Productions. Go give us a like, a little subscribe, a little follow. Even if you're listening to this on Spotify, it helps us out to get subscribers. And if you're especially watching this on YouTube and you made it this far, we really do
smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Comment your mental. No. Comment
ways that you combat mental health.
Yes, and comment. I don't know, athletes that you've seen talk out that maybe we didn't cover. But hey, we appreciate you guys.
And
we'll see you
smash
guys.
that like button and subscribe and hit the button.
Yes, see you guys. Bye.